part two of this two-part discussion of mine. I'm sorry for the length of this assignment. I know for some of you this might be a little annoying, or at least time-consuming, so for anybody who's decided to stick through both parts, thank you very much, I appreciate it, and I hope you understand the only reason I decided to do this is because I felt like both stories required individual investigation and discussion for each. I didn't want to just do one, or do both quickly. I wanted to give each of them their own chance to be discussed and looked into. So, seeing as I just got done talking about the Preacher page, I would now like to go into one of my favorite individual comic stories now, Death of Superman, with one of the most impactful pages in all of comic book history. Now, I do own Death of Superman, but sadly I don't know where that book is. It's in storage at the moment, but I can pull it up on my laptop. So I hope that's okay. Again, sorry about the camera quality. It is what it is. This scene depicted here shows Superman laying dead on the ground, blood falling out of multiple wounds, his suit ripped to shreds, his cape slowly flowing in the wind on a pole, with Lois Lane crying above him, and Jimmy, I believe is his name, taking a picture in the background. This is the death of Superman. The death of a god. It's funny, because when you first look at this, your eyes aren't drawn to Superman at first. Your eyes are drawn to Lois Lane, which I think is what they wanted to do. They wanted to show that the most important thing from this wasn't that it was something emotional for the important person who died, it's emotional for everyone else. They lost someone hugely important to their world, and they're going to have to find a way to live without him. This is terrible for them. It could be said about any death, honestly. It's not you. It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to whoever dies, but it's even harder for those who are left behind to deal with it. And then, because of coloring, the next thing that my eyes would be drawn to is the cape, which is like a banner, almost a flag for a fallen hero. A man who's done everything he can to fight off a monster, which is Doomsday, one of the best DC villains ever created, in my opinion. And it's just to flow in the wind to show that this is the last stand of a truly amazing man. And I think the next thing that's drawn to my eyes is the fact that without the suit, and just looking at him laying on the ground, he looks human. Almost the same as us. Weak, fragile, vulnerable. There's nothing special about him right here. He's not a man who's dodging lasers. He doesn't look like that. He just looks like a man who's been pushed to his absolute limit and couldn't come back. And I think that was one of their main things they wanted to point out in this, is that even gods can bleed, which is an expression, but taken very literally in this sense, I suppose. No one is truly can avoid the bad things that happen in this world. The people you admire are not infallible. They can do bad things, and bad things can happen to them. And even yourself, you can put yourself on a pedestal and you think you're the best ever, a Superman even, but that doesn't make you infallible. That doesn't mean you're immortal or you have any sort of ability to just stay away from the bad things that happen in this world. You're just human. And even though this man was a literal god, even he was brought to his knees and even to his death by someone who was able to be just a little bit stronger, or I guess the same amount of strength. It depends on who you're talking to about that. This is a perfect story that shows that no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do, there's no such thing as a perfect person. We're all going to fall sooner or later. There's no such thing as a person who's free of sin, who's free of pain, free of sadness. We all experience this. Even the best of the best. In this case, a Superman. Nothing says truly sadness than realizing someone you've idolized as a hero is just a man like you. No better, no worse, just as weak, just as fragile, just as perfectly human. It puts things into perspective, and I think I think that's what makes this story so absolutely fantastic. And I could argue that the one after that's kind of but this story is absolutely amazing. It shows things that you couldn't get from most comic books, especially from modern day Superman. Modern day Superman tends to go into the ideology of him, and it idolizes him as a perfect being who can't really be fallible anymore, and he's amazing. He can literally tug a chain of planets around. That's true. Lift a book of infinite pages. That's also something that's happened. But this was the first time they showed him as just a very, very strong man who was brought to his knees by an unstoppable